pancake and power slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the pancake and power slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the pancake and power slam show. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the pancake and power slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the pancake and power slam. Turn it up, turn it up. It's the pancake and power slam show. Turn it up.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of the Pancakes and Power Slam Show. Before I bring in my friend, let's you know how we do, man. You know how we do. This is Hold On by Ian Ewing. Credit to Chill Hop Music. And let's get it going, man. Let's bring it all in. Come on. We gotta load the room up for them. You know how we do every single week. We set the tone. I see the comments coming in, and come on in. I see those numbers starting to fill up. Share the link, y'all. We got my guy in here. If there's any place to be right now, it is here on the Pancakes and Power Slam Show live, because the most controversial thing that happened this entire year. We thought that The Rock no showing SummerSlam and WrestleMania and doing all that jazz. We thought that was controversial. I'll raise you one, ladies and gentlemen. I'll raise you one. And that's what happened this past weekend. So come on in, y'all. Come on in. We are going to have a great time, as we do always. And I do see a lot of comments. Come on in. Share the link. We got a few more. Let's get about 3 more. Share the link. There we go. 2 more. Let's get about 2 more before we get this ready. We want to fill this room up. It's already filling up really well. Let's get it going. All right, we got one more. Good stuff. Keep sharing the link. Let's bring some people in here, as we do every single week. There we go. All right, just like that. We've reached it and counting, so let's bring them on in here. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I love interviewing this guy, man. We've built a great camaraderie over the past couple of years now. And I think this is the first time on the Pancakes and Power Slam Show. This might not be, but I think it may be, actually. The other times that he was, that I've interviewed him several times now, he was on my Sports Kita show. But this is the first time, I think, on Pancakes and Power Slams. This is 714 episodes of the Pancakes and Power Slam Show, and I think this is the first time that he's been on here. So let's welcome him very, very warmly. Let's welcome him extremely warmly, ladies and gentlemen. I see the likes going up. I see the links shared. I see the numbers coming up. Let's keep bumping those numbers up, because if there's any time that any pro wrestler wants to hear what someone has to say about what happened last Saturday night, it's none other than everybody wanting to hear what this guy is saying. Ladies and gentlemen, John Cena Sr. live on the show, ladies and gentlemen. My friend, how you feeling about this weekend, man?
I suppose I feel like everybody else, a little shocked, a little I don't know, disappointed in some areas, but I guess, Chris, it's professional wrestling, or I guess, as Michael Cole said, I guess WWE is taking entertainment out of professional wrestling, or vice versa. With quite a cold statement he made, but a very true statement.
Yeah. It's I'm a traditionalist. You and I have talked many, many times, man. I've had some time to really think about both sides, and that's the type of person I am as a therapist. I'm always thinking about all the possible sides for sure. And I understand both sides. I understand, and I want to talk through that with you tonight. I want to talk through both ends, and let's dissect this together. So you have one end that's saying, okay, you want to get the heat on the heel. If there's any heel that wants heat, that should be getting heat. If there's a heel of the future, if there's a heel to take over all heels, it should be Gunther. Okay, cool. Then there's the other side that says you had people pay money. You brought casual fans back in because you found out that John Cena is wrestling his last match ever. You had people with make a wish signs and just really poignant signs waiting for that moment. And then you got to go back to the territories when it's like, this whole time honored tradition of, people looking at the lights to pass the torch. That became something, but it always wasn't there. And so there's just sometimes where the timing is just right for someone to retire in a way that's going to leave a big impression. So you have both sides. You have, let's give the heat to Gunther because it's going to help his career, which his career has been affected negatively a few times with his recent losses over the past couple of years to Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. No disrespect to either one of them, but at the same time, you're beating John Cena, but you're losing to Sami Zayn. So it's like, okay. And then on this side, you have, look, we got to realize when the right time is the right time, and this wasn't the right time. So, Mr. Cena Sr., what side do you favor? Now, you don't have to go completely on either side, but if the pendulum was swinging and it was tipping a certain way, where does it land at the most, John?
Well, I got to say, first of all, I haven't backed off from what I said previously. Gunther does not need, nor did he need the rub. And I'm going to go out on a limb, and I always do. That's how I get in trouble, I guess, Chris. But we already had one legend killer. I know. I took a kick in the head from him. That's Randy true. Orton. That's how it all started. There's the man that Vince handpicked to go out and start destroying legends. I think that Gunther and Cena did a hell of a job. Let's put it that way. I've got to swing to the pendulum and say, I'm kind of with you. I don't know if there's a written rule or an unwritten rule. And I said this on the last podcast. I guess when you're going out, you're going down. I don't quite get that because I've seen too many things happen with other wrestlers and with this situation where the torch was passed to Cody Rhodes, where we put Dominic Mysterio over. I would have thought I would have had to swing with the pendulum to the side of, well, Gunther doesn't need this rub, but we need to send these people home happy. Or at least we need to send these people home who've come out with their signs, their hats, their cheers, and not send them home in tears and disbelief by at least accomplishing the same end. And that would be, instead of a tap out, because my whole life is built around never quit, never give up. You just did something that never should have been done, but it did it. I would have much rather booked it as Cena passing out or referee interference. Cena goes down, Gunther goes up. He still has destroyed the GOAT. He still is the legend killer, but both men walk away with their heads held high. I guess that's the take I got on it. I watched that match. I'm sure you did. I was impressed by the effort that both these men put into it. It was a hell of a match. A hell of a match. I'm not taking anything away from Gunther or Cena. I think it lies in the room with the bookers. And again, I get myself in trouble. You can say whatever you want. about what's best for business. But I have to sit down now and ask myself, was it really best for business? Because Gunther has a big rock on his shoulders right now.
Yeah.
A big rock.
Yeah. Well said, man. I'm with you. I agree. There's just certain things, and this rule. Here's my thing with this unwritten rule. There's a lot of people. I've interviewed a lot of people. I think I'm around 500 wrestlers at this point, and I get it. I understand it. I pick wrestlers' brains all the time. I get it. That's their way of paying it forward and giving back to the business. I understand. But why not giving back to the business, especially for someone like a John Cena? This is the same guy who's been wrestling for 25 years, that he put his blood, sweat, and tears, first person in, last person out, building the business. He had the company on his shoulders for a solid decade. You want to talk about giving back to the business? John Cena was giving back to the business every single year that he was in the business. And so it's like you have some of this rule of you got to give back to the business. John Cena did his fair share, not only in the ring, but outside of the ring, to give back to the business. All the Make-A-Wish, pledges that he had, all those things that he's done outside the ring. He's definitely done his fair share of giving back to the business. Here's my thing. I get it when it comes to the heat. I'm like, yes, Gunther's gotten the heat. But here's the problem with that, in my opinion, John. Who really got the most heat by the end of the night? Was it Gunther or was it Triple H? You got to think that way, right?
But I think Paul Levesque got booed out of the building.
Yeah.
I think the decision was poor. You have to live with the decision you make. You can make as many statements as you want. In this business, we've got to do what's best for business. John's always done what's best for business. We've got to make sure it goes on from here. It's not going to be wrestling entertainment anymore. It's going to be professional wrestling. Well, let's stop and let's make it real. Mm-hmm. First of all, it's scripted. We know the outcome and we know where it's going. So in my business, Chris, it still spells entertainment.
Sure.
I don't care what you call it. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's pro wrestling, but it's live professional wrestling entertainment. Mm-hmm. And for somebody in a group to sit there and say, this is a great move, we're going to have this tap out. One of the things I noticed about my son when he tapped out was the smile on his face. And if Gunther could accept what he did, and I'm going to do it for you just like this. If that's a tap out, then you and I are drinking bourbon right now. Because that had to be, and I said to somebody, we had a group with us, and I'm saying, did he tap out, or was it a John Cena attempt to break out of the hole? Or, let's be honest here, and was it a case of saying, hey, folks, guess what? I've given it. The story's over. I'm done.
Right.
I'm done.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. Gunther now has a very big rock to carry, and Triple H has got a bigger burden, because it just didn't lie. He's the head booker, but he's got those other gentlemen behind him. I believe Pritchard. We've got all these guys behind him. Michael P.S. Hayes. All these guys are saying this is the right move. This is the right move. I still say, and I hope you agree, and the fans agree, we could have achieved the same end with a different finish that would have benefited everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody, including the fans, because I think the fans on a whole were ready for a loss. I think they were.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the bigger pop for the night would have been if he would have won. The place would have absolutely erupted. It would have absolutely erupted. And here's the thing. Gunther's going to be there, man. He could have got the rub somewhere else, really, honestly. I think that – and here's the thing about a heel. A heel, and you know this, is someone who has been a heel manager for several years. Like you're the most hated person in Boston right now, man, as we speak. and the heels know, just like that, a loss can be it can be redeemed by a promo anytime with the heel. Anytime. Well, he caught me on my worst day. I wasn't paying attention. The fans was behind him. I was shrouded. I was being distracted by all the crowd reaction. It's y'all's fault. It's your fault. It's the fans' fault because y'all were behind John Cena, the same person who told you earlier this year that you weren't behind him. You gave up on him. And then I was expecting y'all to cheer for me. Did y'all hear what John Cena told y'all earlier this year? And now you're going to be behind him. And I was expecting y'all to cheer me. And that's just like that. The Raw after can be redeemed by a promo that he can get heat and he can put somebody else can put him over, like a Cody Rhodes or even a Randy Orton, talking about legend killers. Stuff like that could be redeemed. But here's the thing. You'll never get another match from John Cena. You'll never get another chance to make this right. And it's like, man, do you get to the point of course, John's not going to come back. And can you go to sleep at night? Booking staff, can you go to sleep at night and realize, is this more about putting Gunther over and getting him heat? Or is the heat more on the poor decision making? Like, some people liked it, and I get it. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a polarizing take on it. There were some people who liked it, which is fine. But at the same time, which person really got the most heat out of that night, Gunther or Triple H in the booking staff? So.
I would have to tell you that what I saw afterwards and what I read afterwards, Paul Triple H Levesque got beat up pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I don't care how you word it. I don't care how you say it. You screwed up. I guess that's what the fans are basically saying. Not me. You screwed up. And again, I thought, and I still do, I think you want to send your fans home happy. When Taker lost to Lesnar, I was there. There was a shock factor.
Yeah.
Nobody, I don't know about you, Chris, but the last time I saw tears over a wrestler losing was Bruno Sammartino when he got defeated by Ivan Koloff at Madison Square Garden. So the emotion was there. You had the fans. Just think of what this little adventure cost you. Some fans aren't coming back ever.
Yep, that's
and
true.
You're right. People are hitting me behind. Oh, Cena, don't worry about it. Your kid's going to be back in a year. Everybody comes back. I'm telling you, on your show, you know me well enough. My son said he's not going to ever be in that ring again. I'm telling you, you've seen John Cena for the last time. And one podcaster said to me, well, there always could be a rematch. There will never be a Gunther Cena rematch. It's over. It's done. It's finished.
Yeah. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I just don't like the way it went. I'll be right up front with you. Great match. Can't fault either person. But when you look at some of those through the table, smashing the stairs, out cold, and no pins.
Yeah.
But again, I think, and I have to give somebody credit somewhere, I guess it was the end of a story and the beginning of a new era. And I guess if you're going to end the era or the story, you've got to close it out. But I don't think it needed to be closed out as tragically as they did it.
Yeah, I agree, because we've talked about this before, John. There was no story behind this. Like, even if like Gunther beating John Cena could have meant so much more if there was a story behind this. If it made sense for Gunther to beat Cena. This was a tournament that Gunther won. There was no build other than the tournament got more build than the actual match did. And it's like, so basically we had Gunther beat Cena, no build, and Cena didn't even look strong throughout the year because he lost to Cody. He lost to Dominic. He got just obliterated by Brock with zero payoff by the way. No payoff with the Brock thing. Just, hey, let's just bring you in for the ESPN deal, and boom, that's it. No payoff. Just completely obliterated. You lost to Dominic Mysterio with all the bells and whistles and all the hoopla and mess. And we'll get to super chats here. I see that there are some super chats. You lost to Dominic, you lost to Cody, you lost to Brock, and now you lost to Gunther. So the other three shouldn't have been the thing if you really want to give Gunther the rub, because Gunther beat Cena, but so did Dominic Mysterio. So it's like, so you're trying to make this person the heel of the future when someone already beat him to it, by beating John Cena. And it's like, now you want to have someone who's looking at the lights and all that. But I remember the last match that The Undertaker had was against AJ Styles at WrestleMania a few years back. John, did he lose that match?
Good.
No, he beat AJ Styles. The Undertaker beat AJ Styles.
He did.
He
did lose. Did Taker lose?
No, I said did Taker lose against AJ Styles? No, he didn't. Yeah, he did not lose against AJ.
He beat him. Yeah,
he beat him. Yes, he beat him in the Boneyard match.
Yeah.
The last match by The Undertaker was a win, and so so it doesn't apply to everybody. Because if it did apply to everybody, it would have applied to The Undertaker. He did the retirement thing when he lost to Roman Reigns. He put his gear on in the ring. I was actually there doing media in Orlando for that WrestleMania. And so that seemed like it was a retirement match, but it was just something that was shaking in The Undertaker that just didn't feel right? And so then he got a couple more wins after that, obliterated John Cena, at WrestleMania 34 New Orleans. I was there as well. And so you have all these moments where people aren't really looking up at the lights. Hogan, Hogan did his thing as far as winning matches and going up on top. I think the last match he had was Sting, or I think at the Bound for Glory, which was a pretty bad match, honestly. But he had moments where, but he gave it to a legend, though. You know what I mean? So he's not putting the new talent over by looking at the lights and paying it back. There's a different kind of paying it back to me, when it comes to certain people. When it comes to someone like a John Cena, he's already paid it back. He's already done so much in the company. And I think that if you really want to use that heel to bring to come to the mat, if you want that heel of the future, you should have booked this way better. John Cena should have had no loss this whole tour. And if you really want to build the heel, you should have had the first heel beat him, which is Gunther. But you already had Cody as a face, Brock as a heel, Dominic as a heel, beat him. So it's like what is that whenever? What does the win even mean in your opinion, John?
Everything you're saying is 100% correct. I still sit back and and it's awful because I say, why? Not because he's my son. It could have been anybody in that position. Why? No build, no story. In comes this guy. We're going to destroy him. He's going to be finished. He's going to be through. You're right. Look at the two in front of you. Yeah. This win to Gunther is a nothing because somebody's already done it.
Yes.
But I guess the reason it means so much to Gunther or to the people at WWE, it's the last time. It's the last match. And you would think that, and I like your scenario earlier, Cena goes over, Gunther goes nuts, blames everybody but himself for the loss, even blames the bookers. Who cares?
Yeah.
And the other thing I like that you said is, give me a story. Yes. Maybe what should have happened. Cena should have been an entrant and maybe judging some of those people. Maybe Cena and Gunther should have had a little bit of shit going on, if you want to put it bluntly. So there was a reason for this confrontation. Mm-hmm. There was no reason for the confrontation other than I'm going to make John Cena do something he's never done before. Tap out. Well, let me tell you something. As Hogan would say, God rest your soul, brother. If that was a tap out, again, Chris and I are drinking bourbon. And you know, I have to chuckle a little bit because they're saying Gunther's going to take out a couple more legends like Brock Lesnar. Let me tell you something. If that happens, it'll be a bigger travesty than what just happened.
Mm.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
No.
This man has built his own legacy, and he's done a good job at it. But again, I'm with you. No storyline, no reason for the match, poor build up, and then the most, I think, saddest thing I've seen in a long time since I've been in this business is to see those people shed those tears.
Yeah.
That's just not the way it's supposed to be. Maybe it is in some people's book, because again, wrestling entertainment, you know, professional wrestling has destroyed wrestling entertainment. It's done. It's finished.
Yep.
It's finished.
Yeah. And my thing is, even with the finish, I mean, Gunther has a sleeper hold, right? So it's not a rear naked choke. He doesn't, you know, it's not built as a rear naked choke. It's not a choke hold that you have to tap out. It's not an MMA maneuver. It's a sleeper hold. So typically in the sleeper hold, what they do, similar to how he win every other match, is they do the whole gimmick where you raise the hand up, and you know, either you about to drop it and you raise it up again and you reach out and you do all that, and then all of a sudden you kind of bring the hand down, it gets real frail and it gets down, and you raise it back up, and you're doing all that psychology to get the fans still thinking that there's a chance. But somehow he tapped out to a sleeper hold before he went to sleep. So it's like, what? So it's like you're about to go to sleep. So I'm about to give up and then go to sleep as well. Either you're going to give up or you're going to go to sleep. You know, it's like, I'm about to go to sleep real quick. I think I know I'm about to go to sleep. I think it's almost okay. I think to me, the finish was so convoluted that to me, it left more questions than answers.
Yep.
And to me, it didn't really completely do what it was supposed to do. The point of this was to build a heel. But there's so much more in this than to just simply building a heel. It's poor creative discussions. It's Triple H discussions. It's John Cena tapping out to a sleeper hold discussions. It's Gunther, having beat him with no story discussions. It's people holding signs. It's, people wearing merch. It's people crying afterwards. All of that is shrouded in getting more attention than the goal. And the goal was to make Gunther the new heel. But like I said, too late, because Cena's last match before Gunther, if I'm not mistaken, was against Dominic, right? And he lost the Intercontinental Championship to Dominic. So it's like, you just had a match right before this one of someone who's a heel who beat you. So he took Gunther's thunder. Dominic did, So it's like, again, it doesn't make sense from a booking perspective for me.
I have to agree with you, my friend. And it took, and fairness to Dominic Mysterio, it took 5 people and Liz Morgan with a kick in the nuts to make sure Cena didn't make it. Yeah. But he beat him. That's the point.
He still won. Yes, he still won.
And you and I have been around a long time, and usually when that sleeper hole is applied, you don't have a chance to tap out.
Correct.
Because in 30 seconds, you're in La La Land anyway. Yes. So the tap out, now we're open the door, I might as well follow you right through it, made absolutely, that's why I'm saying it made no sense. No. That tap out to me was, hey, folks, I've done my thing. It's over. I'm moving on. C Nation is done. Yeah. Bingo. And it didn't take long for Gunther to go back with his little look of like, oh, wow. Do something that'll make the man tap out. Right? Ankle lock. Put him in a backbreaker. Give me a reason to see somebody tap out. A person who never quits and never gives up. Yeah. You just don't, and you're right. I'm going to sleep now. Hold on, Chris. Before I go to bed, I just want to tap out. Hold on.
Exactly.
No, it made no sense. And again, I'm going to get in trouble because I'm now dumping on people. But at the same time, you got to look at it as you see it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a great fan of professional wrestling. I'm a mark like everybody else. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be in the business. But you've got to look at where is the common sense?
Mm-hmm.
There was none, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of good moves there, some heavy questionable. And you're right, the way we play it is heel's going to get you. You'll never have a chance to win. Strong comeback, boom, boom, boom. Then you go in for the kill or the win. None of that was. It was there to a point, but the finish, man, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. I'll tap out before I go to sleep, ladies and gentlemen. That's basically
And well, we might make a T-shirt like that.
Yeah, very much so. Very, very much so. All right, let's see here. We got some super chats. Let's get to these super chats. And if you want to, we'll do a Q&A through super chat. If you want to drop any more questions for John, go ahead and hit that super chat. We got Wrestling Historian, $2. Who was worthy of being your son's final opponent?
I said this several times, and you know what? The list to me is long. And I say this, and again, he hugged some of those people before he had his match. I wish Kurt Angle were in better shape. That would have been a great match. Who better to lose to than Kurt Angle? If you got to lose, JBL was another guy I looked at. Somebody said to me, "What about the current roster?" LA Knight is a good choice. Give somebody the opportunity that needs that rub.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. And there were others I think worthy of that situation than the man that got it, because he's Walter, Gunther, whatever you choose to call him, 20-year veteran, amazing wrestler. He already has carved his name in history.
Yep.
Already has. So what about the young man coming up that needs that rub? You know what? You know the guy that faced Cody Rhodes from NXT?
Yeah. Oh, he's money. Yeah, he's money.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there again, that's my feeling. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't think Gunther was the right choice.
Yeah. See, my philosophy is this. I can't always say this, man. I cannot stand matches for matches' sake. Anybody again, I have a PhD in psychology, man. I know how the brain works when it comes to trace decay. And when the reason why people will tend to not make this as strong as the backlash that came behind it, I think we're going to have like 2, 3, 5 years from now. I still think that the backlash will supersede the decision to have Gunther beat John Cena. And I honestly think that's the reason why I think you should have had a moment that would have caused this matches for matches sake with no story build, with just put it back, put a bow on this thing. Why not have Cody turn heel? Why not have one more opportunity and you come out with John Cena by his side, the last match, and you have Cody Rhodes be right there, and you have one more match. You have John Cena. He just lost the Intercontinental Championship. Him losing back-to-back just, again, makes no sense. But if you put a stake behind it, it means something. Okay, I lost because of all this, because of what all the hoopla and all the smodge that came with Dominic. There was no payoff to that, by the way. There was no follow-up with that, which is, again, just it makes it even worse. But he could have easily said it took all of that to dethrone me from the Intercontinental Championship. So that just goes to show me that it's my time to try one more time on my last match to walk out WWE champion. So the marquee match is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes one last time, one more time. And if you want to talk about someone, and I think John should have won regardless, but if you're trying to make something out of it, if you're trying to make something out of it, you could have easily had John Cena beat Cody Rhodes, or Cody turn heel, have The Rock come back, and or even had John Cena Sr. low blow John Cena Jr. and have him align with Cody Rhodes and The Rock, ladies and gentlemen. You could have had anything happen of the sort, but I think that any of these options would have been better than a simple match from a tournament with someone who was already over as a heel. Regardless of it is, I think if you want to use this to project someone in 2026, you should have used it to project Cody Rhodes as a heel.
Well, and you know what? You are 100% correct. You want a job in the writers' room? Because somebody's not thinking straight there, really. And like I say, I'll probably get in trouble, but I'm going to call it as I see it, which I always do. The scenarios you give make a lot of sense because the finish makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Yeah. Look at what they just did. And again, I feel bad for Gunther because, he could always fizzle and just go nowhere now.
Yeah.
Who is he going to be?
Exactly.
And do you realize everybody they put him in the ring with now, he has to win.
Yes.
He has to win.
Yes.
That's not, it just makes no sense.
If Cody Rhodes would have turned heel, that would have put all the heat on him.
Yep.
Right now, the heat is split between Gunther less and Triple H more. But if Cody Rhodes would have turned heel against John Cena, people wouldn't be booing Triple H. People would be booing Cody Rhodes because he's the one who's getting the heat in all this. He's the one who's turning heel. It's a shock factor. Cody Rhodes was the person all along who had this all together. And then of course now we're waiting for the SmackDown afterwards. And he could have easily cut the promo. You remember, John, when you thought that The Rock was on your side? It was me all along. I came and I plotted this. I was the one who came. And then that relieves The Rock from having to come week to week because he won't be able to come week to week. But Cody Rhodes I was the mastermind behind all of it. Because who wants to see Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the 8th time? Who wants to see Cody Rhodes versus another heel that he'll win and everybody's saying, whoa? Like, we're over that. We're done with that. We want something new, something fresh. And Gunther simply being a heel, just like he's always been a heel, and he's going to lose to a babyface eventually, and he's not going to put the babyface over after losing against him. So where'd the rub go? Like you did all that for what?
Wasted.
Yes, exactly.
And I like the idea of Cody Rhodes. That would be a great scenario. I don't like to throw myself in the mix, but wouldn't it be funny if I was the mastermind behind it?
Ooh.
It wasn't The Rock. The Rock was a fake all the time. It was me that was handling this. And it's my turn to pay you back for all the years you dumped on me. And it's Cody and I and my team that will take you out. I mean, those are the things that build stories. Those are the things that bring swerves. And I said this, isn't it? It's kind of lousy when you can sit there and predict the end. Yeah. It's kind of lousy. And especially, and you made a good point about Taker going out on top.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I think some people earn that right.
Yes.
Earn that right. And I think I do think I have to concur and agree with you. I don't think he should have lost.
Agreed.
I hate to say it, not because it's my son, but I think they handled it the wrong way. But what's wrong with that? Even if you did it another way around, but he went out and everybody goes out happy. I just think it was a big mistake. It's something that's I think is going to follow them for a long time.
Yep, agreed. The last match that Shawn Michaels had was a win. The last match that Stone Cold Steve Austin had was a win.
A win.
So, so it's like either this philosophy is true or it's not. Either it's going for everybody. Either everybody has to look at the lights, or it doesn't apply to certain people. Right? It didn't apply to Michaels. The
No.
last he was in a tag match, but he still won. It didn't
Yep.
apply to Austin. It didn't
Nope.
apply to Taker. Right? So it's like, yeah. So that philosophy doesn't apply as much as you think it is, and it shouldn't have applied to Cena, because Cena's in the same boat as Austin, Rock, Taker, as far as just the most impactful people in this quarter century. Cena's absolutely in that boat. So why can't he get the same treatment as the Taker? And here's the thing: Austin went against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Kevin Owens got a rub even in a loss. And so it made Kevin Owens look like $1 million. Look at the Taker streak. All those times he beat those wrestlers, he beat a Mark Henry and a Giant Gonzalez. Like, we remember the people who lost in the streak because they got put over by losing. You don't always have to get over by winning a match. And Gunther could have absolutely got over and looked strong if Cena could have had a quick, easy crucifix, quick 3. The fans are shocked and looking strong. And then you could have easily had Gunther come the next day and cut a promo of how he wasn't ready and how the fans, you could have just similar, exactly what you're saying. You could have protected both of them along the way.
Yeah. Well, I think, the more I look at it, the more I try to analyze it, I think once again that what they wanted to say to the fans was, it's the end of an era. C Nation is done. Get ready for the new version of what you're about to see. And I think their ultimate goal, and they did it, they succeeded by the look on the faces of children crying, men with their heads bowed, women crying, and Triple H getting booed out of a building. They succeeded in what they wanted to do. They destroyed it once and for all, and say, now there's another page, a new page. C Nation's done. The era is over. We begin anew, and we've really killed it, because they really have. There's no way to ever, as you say, have another match or bring it back. It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Well, if they're doing this and they're making Gunther be the heel of the future and shoot him into 2026, man, they better pay this off, John. they better pay it off, man.
It ain't gonna work, Chris. You and I have been around a long time.
Yeah,
Like I said before, every match Gunther has now, he better win.
Yes. Yeah.
He has to win. They put a big burden on this man's shoulders. And don't tell me that this man is going to take out Brock Lesnar or AJ Styles or CM Punk if he decides to go down the road. It just doesn't make any sense. We've already had this scenario. We had the greatest legend killer of all, the youngest legend killer of all, Randy Orton, who did a hell of a job at it.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to recreate the monster?
Yep. I'll tell you this: since we had Gunther beat John Cena, he retired Goldberg too. We better see Gunther and Randy Orton at WrestleMania with him retiring Randy Orton too. Like he better go on a tirade and retiring legends. If this is going to be your gimmick and you're retiring Goldberg and John Cena, I better see Gunther versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and I better see Gunther beat Randy Orton and send him off in the sunset too, since you're doing this.
Crazy setup, was a crazy finish. It made no sense in my book, except, like I say, we want to tell you right now, C Nation is done. It's an end of an era. Wrestling entertainment is done. Professional wrestling begins. And poor way to do it, but that's the message I get. I think the message that Cena sent was, I'm tired. I've paid my dues. My body can't take it anymore. So thank you for everything you've done. Have a nice night. Tap, tap, and I'm done. He kind of had that little smile on his face. And, it's like, wow, thanks for everything. Thank you for what you've done for me. I hope you've enjoyed what I've done for you. And it's done. But again, It could have been done so many different ways. The referee could have taken the heat, called the match. Gunther would have been pissed at the fact that the match was called because you wanted to see him get tapped out. It was just written so badly. And again, I'll get in trouble, but it was written just so badly. It was, to me, total destruction is what it was geared up to be.
Yep.
Total.
You could have easily had Triple H throw in a towel, and said, I've been wanting to drag you out of here for years. You know what I mean? And he could have said that to, like, at least you would have protected John Cena in any way versus a tap out before a who taps out in a sleeper hold? Like that's the thing. Who does that?
You can't do it.
You can't.
Not only can you not see me, you can't do it.
Yes, you can't do it. You can't. I can't see my head because I'm asleep. I can't see it. I can't even tap out. I don't even have the strength to tap out because I'm asleep.
And you're numb from the neck down.
Exactly.
You and I both know that if it's applied properly across the carotid artery, it only takes about 35 seconds. So
you're done.
Yes. So you wouldn't have time to tap out.
Correct. Absolutely.
We can beat this to death. Unfortunately, what's done is done. I don't agree with it. I can tell you don't agree with it. No. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to fix it because Cena is not coming back.
That's correct. We got Sky Wonder Wolf, $1. Thank you for your contribution. We got 99 Maddox, $2. When's the last time you talked to John Jr.?
I text him right after the match, and he texts me back. I guess that's the last time. I hope I'm going to see John for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That's usually when I get a chance to see him. Yeah. And now that his schedule slows down, hopefully we'll get to see each other a lot more.
Yeah. So it's safe to say that we're not getting any more WWE appearances for the near future. I know he signed a 5-year ambassador contract, but he's laying low for the foreseeable future.
I wouldn't count him out of making a couple of appearances, but as just me. But as far as referee in ring, maybe commentator, but ever getting back in that ring, ever doing anything, you can forget it. What do they say? Forget about it. It's just not happening. It's not happening. It's done. It's over.
It's done. $5, Zubair. Shout out to Cena Sr. for bringing to this world one of the best to do it. Cena Sr., how did you react to support John's decision on becoming a wrestler?
150%, because you know what? I wanted to be a pro wrestler when I was a kid, going to Walter Kowalski School of the Salem YMCA. When John informed me that he was going to be a pro wrestler, I laughed. I said, yeah, right, sure. And I actually flew to California 2 months later at UPW, and there he was. So I couldn't be prouder of that young man for the decisions he's made in his life and what he's done for everybody out there.
Zubair, $2. Mr. Cena Sr., any reason not appearing at Saturday night's main event?
Yeah, I wasn't asked. No, I was. I just felt that I saw the best in Boston. That was the last match. And my son Sean and his girlfriend went out. Alyssa, my nephew Mark and his fiance Cheryl were out there. My son Matthew and his 2 daughters were out there. So we were represented out there. I watched it on TV. I was, I texted him before, fully supportive. I just felt that this time was his time. And it was a time for everybody to experience a side of John I don't think that people have really ever seen. It was kind of sad to see what I saw. But the reason I didn't get out there was travel, number one. It just was a bad time for everything. Most people don't realize that I play Santa Claus too. And I would have been double booked, so to speak.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. We got Angel Lucia, 1987, $10. Are you guys surprised they didn't have Randy Rock Batista there for John? Not only the finish was bad, also the end celebration for John fell flat. A lot of important people missing, like Vince, Randy, Rock. I think Randy was overseas doing some work.
Correct.
But as far as Batista and Vince, I know Vince. I know that Steph was there and Linda took a picture with him. But as far as Vince, I know that he's going through, all the stuff that he's going through right now. Rock did a video, but he didn't show up. So yeah, I mean, there was some missing people there. Batista, I mean, that's another one that didn't show up, or we didn't hear anything from him.
I don't know what's wrong with that, but I would only say this, and think about this. Vince McMahon shows up for the last match. Donald Trump shows up for the last match. Where is the attention? On what's going on in the ring, or the gentleman sitting at ringside? So I think Vince and our president and maybe a couple other people did what's best for business. And that does not mean that those people weren't in contact with John or spoke to them. Maybe they also had previous commitments. I understand, Vince, again, the spotlight would have been on him. And if the president was there, the spotlight would have been on him also. So good decision on both their parts. I'm sure that the other people that were unable to be there, Orton we know was in Saudi Arabia. The other ones that you mentioned could have had prior or previous or prior commitments that they had to honor. And maybe that's the reason, because I know that those people that you mentioned are good friends of John's.
Looks like the last question. Danimo 199. Would it made any difference if John got pinned, in your opinion?
If he got pinned?
Yeah.
Instead of tapped out?
Yeah.
You know what? I think it would have made, it probably would have made a difference. I think people could have accepted that a lot better than the finish that they had, because there was that big rally at the end, and it was like this relentless guy is not going to let up on this at all.
Yeah.
I just think that they were going to, the answer to that is, I don't think it would have made a whole hell of a lot of difference, because he still would have lost.
Yes, that's where I stand on that. Yeah, I don't think it would have made a difference at all, honestly.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
John, it's always a pleasure, my man. It's you have become probably my favorite interviewer and interviewee, I should say, and yeah, man, you're always there. I've said this before, man. You're always a text away from a hot tag, and I will always appreciate that, John. You are just a sweetheart of a guy, and I greatly appreciate your continued availability. Whenever I need you, man, you're there for me, and that means a lot to me. So I appreciate it.
Well, I love you too, Chris. You're a great human being and a great person, highly respected in my book. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this show and your life. And I hope you all have, I don't like happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, John. Have a good night, my brother.
Take care, brother.
All right, bye-bye. My guy, as always, amazing, man. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. We're going to do some Patreon real quick. And come on in, man. We're going to debrief about that discussion on Patreon. Wonderful interaction all over the place tonight on the show. And also, I think I found a reason why my screen was freezing too. So that's good news too. All kinds of good news that happened out of tonight's StreamYard has a really interesting thing going on in their life. That's the resolution and all that. Yeah, it's weird, but I think I'm good to go, man. So that means we're all set with doing more reaction videos, and so I'm really looking forward to that. And come on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/pancakes and power slams, patreon.com/pancakes and power slams. The comment section is lit, man. This is great. Great comments, y'all. Fantastic comments, man. Really good comments. All right. It's only less than $1 a week. I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to vent. And me being, I do a lot of group coaching sessions. I always call myself the P&P coach and also the P&P professor. I do a lot of group coaching sessions on the Patreon as far as just how people feel about pro wrestling, and me having more an objective view of someone who is transitioning and being a casual fan. I'm completely a casual fan now. Definitely keep with highlights and stuff like that. That's really about it. Still casual, not deep casual, but definitely not a weekly viewer or anything like that. As far as because it's not work anymore. But like I said, because of the show, because of P&P, because of understanding, that this is what P&P is about, and people ask me questions still about things. So I keep my finger on the pulse as much as time permits. One thing I definitely wanted to have is my good friend John Cena Sr. on the show tonight. So I know that y'all feel y'all's way about what happened on Saturday. So come on to the Patreon. We all go on the screen together and we have a great time discussing what's on our mind, and I answer questions. We also got some trivia tonight too on WWE Championship history. So I'm doing a trivia series, and whoever wins the most trivia of the series by the end of the year gets a big prize at the end of the series. So Patreon is always a lot of fun. That is patreon.com/pancakes and power slams. Patreon.com/pancakes and power slams. All right. I'll see you there. Fantastic show tonight. Be sure to share. Be sure to like. Again, hit those likes up on YouTube. That bumps that algorithm. This was a fantastic interview. This was, the live interview, exclusive live interview, right on the heels of John Cena wrestling his last match. His father coming on and expressing without any sugarcoating, without any fluff, without any, hey, I'm paid by the WWE, so let me say the right things. Nope, none of that here. You know how it is with me. It's already none of that here. And with John Cena Sr., it's not any of that there, not any of that here with him too. So fantastic as always with my good friend John Cena. All right, y'all. I'll see you on Patreon. Until next week, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless, and always remember, I'll do it for you. Have a good night, everybody. So long.